The Middle East is once again sitting on a knife's edge. In February 2026, U.S.N.
Iran tensions surged alongside a visible American military buildup, while nuclear talks continue in parallel. Now, the question being asked quietly across capitals from Riyadh to Tel Aviv is simple. Could the United States launch a strike on Iran before March 2026? And if it happens, how far does the conflict spread?
This isn't a single incident crisis.
It's multiple pressure points stacking at the same time. Nuclear negotiations are underway, but the gap is still wide, especially over enrichment and broader security issues.
The U.S.N.
has signaled concern about escalation and deployed significant forces to the region, raising alarms among Gulf states about what comes next.
At sea, the Strait of Hormuz has become tense again. The U.S.N. Maritime Administration issued guidance urging U.S.N.
flagged ships to keep distance from Iranian waters and refused boarding permission verbally if asked.
Iran's forces have also seized oil tankers in the Gulf on allegations like fuel smuggling,
fueling fears of a wider maritime crisis.
Put together,
it's a dangerous mix, diplomacy happening under the shadow of force.
If a U.S.N. strike were to happen before March 2026, most analysts would expect it to be framed as limited, targeted and designed to deter, not invade. Reuters has reported concerns that both sides are sliding toward conflict, even as talks continue, with discussion around the possibility of a limited strike if diplomacy fails. But in the Middle East, limited strikes have a habit of producing unlimited consequences.
Iran doesn't need to fight the U.S.N. head-on to cause major damage.
Its strength is asymmetric retaliation, which could include pressure on shipping lanes and ports, rocket or drone attacks by allied groups, and threats to U.S.N. bases across the region. Reuters reporting has highlighted fears among officials and analysts that retaliation against U.S.N. bases and escalation dynamics could spiral. That's where other countries get pulled in because the battlefield isn't just Iran.
It's the entire region around it. Who could be dragged into the war? Iraq is the most exposed flashpoint.
Why? U.S.N. forces and facilities exist in or near Iraq. Iran-aligned armed groups operate there. A strike could trigger retaliation that happens inside Iraq, whether Baghdad wants it or not.
Iraq could become the middle ground where escalation plays out.
Syria is another pressure zone. Multiple armed actors, Iranian-linked networks, and U.S.N. presence in parts of the country. A wider confrontation could expand into Syria quickly, especially through drones, rockets, or strikes on logistics corridors. If the U.S.N.
hits Iran, Israel becomes central, whether involved directly or not. Why? Israel views Iran's military and nuclear capability as an existential issue. Iran or its allies may retaliate by targeting Israel to widen the conflict. Israel may also increase readiness or coordinate actions depending on escalation.
Reuters has reported Israel preparing for potential joint operations scenarios amid rising tensions, even if decisions aren't finalized.
Lebanon could be dragged in through Hezbollah dynamics.
Even without a full war decision, escalation can happen through border clashes, rocket exchanges, or miscalculation.
Lebanon is fragile. Any regional war shock can destabilize it further.
Even though Yemen is far from Iran, it can affect global trade routes. A broader U.S.N.
Iran confrontation could trigger attacks on shipping lanes, insurance spikes, and rerouted global maritime traffic.
This becomes an economic war as much as a military one.
Gulf countries fear two things at once: Iran's retaliation capacity and being seen as staging grounds for U.S.N. strikes. If their airspace, bases, or ports are used, they could become targets directly or indirectly.
Even if they stay out militarily, they cannot avoid oil market shocks, shipping disruptions, and domestic security pressure.
The most immediate global shock wouldn't be on land, it would be at sea.
The Strait of Hormuz is a global energy choke point, and the U.S.N.
has already issued heightened guidance for vessels transiting the area due to rising tensions.
Even the fear of disruption can spike oil prices, raise shipping insurance, and slow global trade.
This is why the world watches the Gulf so closely. The economic impact can hit everyone.
A U.S.N.
strike on Iran before March 2026 is not guaranteed, but the ingredients for escalation are clearly present. Strained nuclear diplomacy, military buildup, maritime friction, and regional proxy networks. And if it happens, it likely won't stay U.S.N.
versus Iran for long, because in the Middle East, Wars don't spread in straight lines.
They spread through alliances, geography, and retaliation. For more geopolitical breakdowns and intelligence-style analysis, subscribe to Chaplin, because the next conflict usually starts long before the first missile is fired.